At this time, I'd like to ask you all to please rise for the invocation and pledge allegiance.
O merciful Creator, your hand is open wide to satisfy the needs of every living creature. Make us thankful for your loving providence and grant that we, remembering the account that we must one day give, may be faithful stewards of your good gifts. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
I think she might be in one nation.
Clerk, may we please have the roll call?
Councilman Lance Smith,
Here.
Mayor Scott Tremblay, Mayor Camille Hernandez,
Here.
Commissioner Ron Oakley,
Here.
Commissioner Mike Moore, Commissioner Catherine Starkey, Commissioner Mike Wells, Commissioner Jack Mariano, Chairman Jeff Starkey.
Here. Mr. Blackshear, will you please go over today's agenda with the MPO board?
Sure. For the record, Ronnie Blackshear, MPO staff. I would like to remind the board members that please note the roll call vote is required for all action items in order to establish a quorum, since not all members are physically present in the room, as this meeting is a virtual meeting. And each member must verbally state their name and indicate a yes or no to an action item. The public can participate in the virtual meeting during the call for the public input section by either phone call during the meeting or via email. As far as the agenda itself, Mr. Chairman, there is not really any changes, but I do have some items that I would like to mention under other business meetings, schedule, items of notice.
Thank you. Thank you. Now's the time for public comment. Citizens are given an opportunity to comment on any item coming before the board during this public comment section. The board also takes public comment on items to be placed on future board agenda or other business under their purview. Due to the COVID-19 operations and to safeguard the well-being and safety of our citizens and staff, today's public comment will be handled differently and will only address items on the June 11th agenda. First, we will take public comment from callers that have pre-registered and are currently on queue. After, we'll read into the record public comments, documents, PowerPoints, or videos that have been identified by members of the public to be read out loud and played at the meeting, not to exceed 3 minutes for each. This new format does not waive the request that when you address the board, comments are not directed personally against a commissioner or team member, but rather directed at the issues. This provides mutual respect between the board members and the public. For those calling in, after stating your name and addressing for the clerk, the timer will be activated and will start a countdown. After 2 minutes, one beep will sound, letting you know that only 1 minute remains. After the time is up, 2 beeps will sound, indicating that 3 minutes are up. Please note that calls will be disconnected after the 3-minute mark. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone that's called in?
No, nobody has called in, sir.
Okay,
No, sir.
thank you. That will conclude the public comment portion of the meeting. Next, we're going to move on to approval of meeting minutes of May 14, 2020. I have a motion to approve the remaining meeting minutes of May 14, 2020.
Move. Second, Camille.
We have a first and a second. I believe all votes are going to be roll call votes, Madam
Yes.
Clerk, correct? So all those in favor?
Roll call.
Councilman Lance Smith,
Yes.
Mayor Camille Hernandez,
Yes.
Commissioner Ron Oakley,
Yes.
Commissioner Jack Mariano,
Yes.
Chairman Jeff Starkey.
Aye. Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. MPO Advisory Committee reports. No action here, just a report from the respective committee member. Marilyn Deschamps, is she in attendance for the Citizens Advisory Committee? No, doesn't look like it.
She is not.
Okay, and we'll move on to BPAC. Oh, actually, no meetings to report, so we're good then. Move on to action items. Action item A is Transportation Performance Measures Consensus Planning Document Resolution. Mr. Blackshear?
Sure. For the record, again, Ronnie Blackshear, MPO staff. The Transportation Performance Measures Consensus Planning Document, or TPM-CPD for short, is a document that started with our last TIP that was actually incorporated as an amendment into the TIP last fall. What we're doing now with this document is to incorporate it by reference via resolution so that it's always will be referenced in the TIP without having to go through an amendment. This Transportation Performance Measures Consensus Planning Document is a document that's where the parties have agreed to, all of our stakeholders, the MPO, the cities, and the PCPT, the transit agency, to come together and have a system, of how we report our performance measures to the FDOT and also to the feds. The document itself is also a part of the resolution. So once the board actually approves this, it will be incorporated within the TIP by reference every year so that we don't have to amend it on an annual basis. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Blackshear. Are there any comments from the public? No? Bring it back to the board.
Ron Oakley moves approval.
We have a first. Is there a second?
Lance, seconds.
And first and seconded. Any other additional comments, Mr. Oakley?
No.
Mr. Smith, any comments? You're the second?
No.
No? Well, then we'll do the roll call vote. Madam Clerk?
Councilman Lance Smith,
Yes.
Mayor Camille Hernandez, Mayor Camille Hernandez, Mayor Camille Hernandez.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Commissioner Ron Oakley,
Yes.
Commissioner Jack Mariano,
Yes.
and Chairman Jeff Starkey.
Yes. Motion passes. Thank you very much. Action item B is a draft 2020 list of priority projects. Mr. Manny, are you with us?
Yes, I'm on.
Okay, go ahead, please.
So I just also wanted to mention that Mayor Scott Tremblay is also online. If you could also mention his name as far as the roll call.
I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
I guess Mayor Tremblay is also on.
Okay, Madam Clerk, are you aware of that? Okay.
Yes.
Welcome, Mr. Tremblay, or Mayor Tremblay, excuse me.
So this is an annual requirement that the MPOs approve a list of priority projects. These priorities provide guidance. There's a lot of feedback. These priorities provide guidance to DOT as they develop and program projects and programs. We did provide you with a draft list of priorities last month, and it has been under a 30-day public comment period. I'll provide an overview, a quick overview with some highlights of this final draft for your review and for comment. So, Todd, if you could pull up the priority list, table 1. So this is the major table, table 1, that has the intersections, ITS, regional trails, and capacity improvements. So I'm going to highlight some changes that were made from 2019 and from the first draft you saw last month. First, there's 2 roundabouts at 52 in Pompanic, 52 and Meridian St. Joe. Those have now been priorities number 3 and 4. They've been elevated to number 3 and 4. 2 reasons for moving these up there. is that State Road 52, once the new 52 alignment is completed, the existing 52 will be transferred to the county, and this will be a great opportunity to improve these roundabouts before DOT turns the roadway over. Another reason is that DOT has a resurfacing project program, and we're lucky to they will consider including the two roundabouts as part of the resurfacing project. Second major change to the priority list is that we have now included the 6 regional trails and the number 1 TA priority, the Cody River Underpass, as priorities number 7 through 13. We also removed 4 RTS projects because the county, those were priorities number 3, 4, 5, and 6 in 2019. These were removed, either they are funded or they have been completed. In your packet of priorities, we also have included the TMA and also the CCC priorities. And finally, we have our local and regional transit priorities that have been identified by Pasco County Public Transportation. That's also included in your packet. So basically, this was a quick overview of the 2020 priorities. As was mentioned earlier, this is a public hearing. We're requesting that the MPO board allow public comment prior to considering adoption of the priorities. And I'll try to answer any question that you may have.
Manny, thank you very much. Madam Clerk, is there anyone from the public that has input?
No.
Seeing none, we'll bring it back to the board.
Ron Oakley moves approval.
Chairman, Jack Mariano.
Jack, I'm sorry, Jack, was that a second or did you have a comment?
I'll second.
Sorry.
I'm pretty sure he seconded that. His
Okay.
sound
Sorry,
keeps
the audio
cutting
here
out.
is tough. So we have a first from Commissioner Oakley and a second from Commissioner Mariano. Is there any discussion, Commissioner Oakley?
No, this list came before us before, in these roundabouts we're talking about on this list now. We moved them back up where there should be because they're going to be funded by DOT in the near future. So without noticing that, we were moving things above it, not thinking that they had to stay up near the top of the list to be funded. So that's why they were moved back up. And we need to pay a real close attention to that in the future, because sometimes we move things around wanting things to happen and we forget about those things we've been asking for a few years. They're coming up to the top. So you need to pay attention to that.
Thank you. Good points. Commissioner Mariano?
I don't know if he heard you or not.
If you can hear me, Commissioner Mariano, did you have any additional comments? Todd, is he still with us? Can you tell?
He is. His mute is still. His mic is still muted, so he must not have any.
Okay. Well, then we'll move on unless there's any additional comments from any other board members. Seeing none, we'll move on to the roll call vote. Madam Clerk?
Councilman Len Smith,
Yes.
Mayor Scott Tremblay, Mayor Scott Tremblay.
Sorry, I was muted.
There you go.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Camille Hernandez,
Yes.
Commissioner Ron Oakley,
Yes.
Commissioner Jack Mariano, Commissioner Jack Mariano,
Yes, I want to make a comment. I had trouble with my mute button there. I don't know why I couldn't get back in, but I want to make a comment about the vote. I'm going to support it, but I want to make a comment.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
Hello?
Are we able, I'm sorry, are we
Thank
able to
you.
do that during the roll call vote? Yes? Okay, go
Yes,
ahead,
and
Commissioner.
Commissioner Oakley, I agree with you 1,000% to your comments about working these projects together and why we had to move them up. I do want to make one mention of a project that was moved off. It was called the Zimmerman Sidewalk Project, which has been waiting for many years to get done. It looks like it's going to go into safe route to schools. I've asked staff to take a close look at what's the best way to design that sidewalk project, whether it be vacating part of a road, moving it over. So with that said, I'm supporting it the way it is right now as staff works forward and to the other changes that are made. So I'll say aye.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Starkey had a comment?
Yeah, I'm trying to find the list. I'm sorry. Where is the list? Because I don't have it. Was it?
So if you go, Commissioner Stark, if you go to page 22 of the agenda, there is a
I don't
link
think
to
my
the
staff-
priority list on there for
Well,
you.
Okay, if you can wait 1 second. I don't think my staff printed it out, unfortunately. 1 second.
Todd, is there any way you could bring the list up so Commissioner Starkey could see it on the screen again?
That is
There it is.
frustrating.
Commissioner Starkey, it's back on the screen if you can see it.
So, okay, I mean, I didn't, I'm really flustered that it wasn't in my packet. So, whoops, I gotta turn this off. Well, I'm uncomfortable not having looked at it, but I guess that's my fault for not saying that it wasn't printed in my book. Has anything changed from the last meeting?
Only because those new items.
Manny, did you want to address her question?
So there wasn't anything substantially changed from the last meeting. And I did just go over some of the highlights of what has changed. In particularly, I mean, there is other than what I mentioned, there wasn't anything that changed.
And I'm sorry, what did you mention? Because I couldn't get on, I couldn't find anything to really look at in my packet, so I didn't really hear what you said.
So we did move up a couple of roundabouts near the top because they are important to be improved before the existing 52 is transferred to the county. So we moved them up. And then we also moved all 6 regional trail projects into this main list. And those are projects number 7 through 13, including the number 1 TA project, the Cody River Underpass. So, I mean,
Okay.
basically, this was the bulk of it.
All right, and I think it's good that all the trails are here because now they can be eligible for additional money.
That's correct. This way we have
motion and
access to
second already.
additional revenue sources to construct the trails.
Okay, and I just a point of order, Mr. Chair, and if we have an attorney present, I think that you have to have a video to vote. You have to be on, you can't be on a phone. You have to have your face being shown, is my understanding. So maybe the government.
No, Commissioner Starkey, the
Yeah.
county attorney's office has stated that as long as you are on the phone via the WebEx, that is part of the meeting, and therefore you are allowed to vote.
Okay, so that part's been waived. Okay.
This is David Goldstein, that's correct.
Okay, all right, well, I'm good to go then. Sorry, everybody.
Okay, and so what was your vote, Commissioner Starkey?
Yes.
Yes.
And call for you.
And Chairman Jeff Starkey.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you very much, everyone. We're going to move on to the draft transportation improvement program for fiscal years 2021 through 2025. Manny has this one again.
So I have, the staff has prepared the PowerPoint presentation to kind of go over the CIP for fiscal year 21 through fiscal year 25. This also has been under a 30-day public comment review that ended May 27th. So this is based on the 2019 priorities that the MPO board submitted to DOT. And I'm going to just highlight some of the projects that have received construction funding. And so basically, this slide just describes what a fiscal year runs from. Fiscal year 21 runs from July 1st of 2020 through June 30th of 21. The year one of the proposed budget, pending governor's approval, is the proposed budget. Year 2 and 5 through 5 are for planning purposes. And the funding for all of these projects came through a DOT, and also there is some involvement locally through some grant programs such as SIPI and CRIP. Next page, please. So again, this highlights what the 5 years the TIP covers from fiscal year 21 through fiscal year 2025. So if you look on the right-hand side, this is what DOT kind of looks at before they start looking at funding some of these projects. They look at the MPO priorities, which we just went through one, and we're going to submit that to DOT for their consideration. They look at the TMA priorities, the TBARA priorities, and also strategic intermodal system and DOT priorities. So what normally happens in the course of funding projects, DOT likes to look at funding safety and security first. These are safety improvements, maybe ITS along corridors with cameras, system preservation, which could include resurfacing projects, multimodal enhancements, which they look at other modes such as pedestrian facilities as well. There's operational improvements such as what we did at 54 and 41, extending turn lanes, intersection improvements. And then when all the rest is exhausted, they move into actually adding lanes and capacity improvements. So we'll begin with some of the capacity roadway improvements that have been programmed. State Road 52 from 41 to Erin Cutoff, actually to Bellamy Brothers was the #1 priority for Pasco County MPO. So DOT was able to secure funding for the portion from 41 to Erin Cutoff. Construction is funded in 2025. And you see the note, we don't have the funding from Erin Cutoff to Bellamy Brothers yet. We're hoping maybe in the next go around they'll fund that. The US 41 from Connerton Boulevard to 52 still in the 5-year program, supposed to start in fiscal year 2021. So there's 2 segments of Wesley Chapel Boulevard from 56 to Magnolia and Magnolia to Oakley Boulevard. Those are slated for construction in 22 and 23. The county was able to secure some funding under the SICP grant program. So now there's a topic of resurfacing projects. There is quite a few that have been programmed in the next 5 years. 52 from Storch Lane to 301 is the piece that we talked about that hopefully will include the 2 roundabouts in. That's programmed for construction in 2023. And then the city of Zephyr Hills, US 301 from Hillsborough County line to State Road 39 is a resurfacing in 2023. Couple of other ones, 54 from 41 to Knights Road. This is just east of US 41, about maybe a mile. Construction is in 2023. Then we have the corridor US 41 from Hillsborough County to Bell Lake Road. They also have a construction in 2023. '54 from 19 to Virginia City Drive in 2023, and also 54 from Mitchell Ranch Road to Marathon Road in 2023. So this is the last piece of 54, 56 to 581 is from Gun Highway to 581. This is adding cameras, fiber optics, Bluetooth reader, signal controller upgrades. And then all of 54, 56 will have all of these capabilities. Some lighting for safety improvements, US 19 from Pinellas County to New York Avenue, and also from 52 from 19 to Hicks. They're going to have some enhanced, updated corridor lighting. Couple of other enhancements from 54 from 19 to Little Road, US 301 from Tucker to Prairie Pond Road in 23 and 24. So a couple of brand new projects. They're basically from on State Road 56 from just east of I-75 to Meadow Point Boulevard. Brand new installation of highway lighting. And a question came from our TAC as to who will be maintaining this. And I guess DOT reminded us that they will pay for the construction, the initial construction cost, and then the locals, the county will take over the maintenance. So I believe this is the final lighting project. It's 54 from Gulf Highway to Altamont. This is the last piece of 54 that needs lighting along the corridor. Some pedestrian bicycle improvements. We got funding for Mitchell Boulevard, filling a gap, Churchill Parkway to Trinity Oaks in 2025, and then Old County Road 54 from 54 to Little Road in 2023. A couple of safe routes to school, Ballantrae Boulevard and Fort King in Dade City have received funding with construction in 2024. So we're so happy to report to you that SunTrail funding, statewide grant funding, statewide funding for trails, we were able to secure in the year 2025, the first piece of orange build from east of Little Road to State Road 54. Funding again is in 2025. So this is, I think this is the last slide, kind of summarizing the MPO planning, capacity improvements, resurfacings, bike ped, transit, traffic operations, ITS, and some aviation improvements totaling $300 million, roughly $60 million a year, program in the next 5 years in Pasco County. So basically, this is the presentation, and I've only highlighted some major projects. If you have any questions regarding any other project or any general questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Manny. Madam Clerk, is there any input from the public on this action item?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, then we'll move it back to the board. Are there any questions or discussion?
Yes.
Commissioner Starkey.
I don't know why my video keeps cutting out. Manny? I really prefer to see a map. I mean, I have no idea where some of these, what the routes are for some of these trails. For example, can you tell me where the route is for the Orange Belt Segment 1? Can I see a map of that?
So Todd, if you go to page 25 of the MPO packet.
And I'm sorry, but it wasn't downloaded. I got really
Right,
very
so
little of the meeting.
the commissioner,
I'm
the
on my
TIP
iPad, so I can't load a lot of this.
So the TIP, actual TIP document has maps in there and kind of shows where the projects are.
I don't have it.
I'm working on it. It's downloading. Just one moment.
I have no maps. So I'd love to see some maps. Tell me where in the document I link
We're
up to
working
the
on it,
map.
Commissioner. I'm going to put it up on the screen for you.
All right, and now my iPad died, so I'm having fun today.
Okay, Manny, which page of that?
So page
Document.
22, page 25 has the link to the actual document.
I got it. And then the map is the list of
So you have
priority
to pull up
projects.
the document, it's embedded in there.
All right, let me see if I can make it a little bigger here. 1 second. Just the map you're
So,
referring
so
to,
this
Manny?
is in the packet?
This is in the MPO packet. It's under this agenda item for TIP. And once you pull it up, there's a link in there. Once you pull up the link to the TIP, you'll see all of these maps in there.
Okay, so that number 6 is the.
So wait a minute, this is a priority list from 2019. Let me give you the exact. Okay, so you need to go to page
I can't go to anything.
65 of the document.
If I go to that, I go off of this meeting, so that's my problem. I can't.
He's actually referring to me, Commissioner Starkey.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go
Manny, you said
forward.
25 or 65?
Page 65.
Oh, of this document. Okay, one
Yes,
second.
sir.
Hold on, it's got to render.
1 second. Okay, so where's the map?
Page 61.
Oh, I like I said, I have to have you guys put it up, not me.
Right, I'm trying to work on it, but
It's page
it has locked
65
up
of
at the
the
moment.
electronic. It's page 61 on the bottom.
Did my other
Yeah,
fellow
I'm trying to get it,
commissioners
Manny.
all the
It's locked up.
attachments? Am I the only one who didn't get attachments? That's frustrating.
Commissioner Starkey, this is a 112-page document. So we didn't include it in the packet, but we did include the link that takes you to this 112 page.
Okay, I have to let my other iPad charge up before I can go to anything. I'm having technical difficulty. I apologize. Maybe Tina can just tell me what that route is?
Is this the map, Manny?
Yes. So this is your bike ped projects and some of the traffic up and safety projects.
Well, the typing is on top of the route. There you go. Okay, so that's, so number.
Number 6 is right here, if that's what
I'm
you're
just in the
referring
dark.
to.
You have a pointer on it? Because I don't, oh, 6, okay. So is that on State Road 54?
Right, this is the resurfacing project.
No, I was asking about the trail, the
The
orange
trail
belt.
is in number 2 in the southwest corner, is in blue. It's along Trinity Boulevard, and it really needs to go to Little Road. It doesn't go all the way.
Okay, so that's the one that you applied for last year.
That's correct.
I thought that your description was different than that, so that's why I was questioning it.
Yeah, the map needs to go to Little Road actually, and then the east side is at 54. So that's the piece we got funding for.
So is this diagram incorrect?
It's incorrect because it needs to go all the way to Little Road and it stops. And you see on the west side needs to go all the way to Little Road.
I see. Yeah, I thought it was funky, so that's kind of why the description and everything didn't sound right. So,
But
Okay.
it does go from little to 54.
okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
And I got a little power here now.
Are there any other comments or questions from the board?
I do understand that the Orange Belt contract that's with the attorneys will be coming out, we hope, next week. The contract for, I think it's to do the design route. And I see Tina's shaking her head yes. So, okay, so that's sorry that got held up. And y'all, when things get held up, you need to shake us commissioners so we can make a phone call. Okay. I'm done.
Thank you, Commissioner, and thank you everyone for bearing with us. It's kind of difficult conditions we're working in today, but we're getting through it, and Commissioner Oakley and I can pretty much hear what's going on through the laptop that's in front of Ronnie right now. Is there any other discussion or questions on this action item? Seeing none with a delay there, we'll move on to the roll call vote. Madam Clerk?
Did you get them?
Oh, actually, entertain a motion then, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Ron Oakley moves to approve.
Commissioner Starkey, seconds.
We have a motion and a second. If there's no further discussion, we'll move on to the roll call vote.
Councilman Lance Smith,
Yes.
Mayor Scott Tremblay,
Yes.
Mayor Camille Hernandez,
Yes.
Commissioner Ron Oakley,
Yes.
Commissioner Catherine Starkey,
Yes.
Commissioner Jack Mariano, Commissioner
I
Jack
probably bored
Mariano,
him to death.
It looks like he's dropped off.
and Chairman Jeff Starkey.
Yes. So motion passes. We'll next move on to the Pasco County Public Transportation Reports and Updates.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. PCT is moving along. We're starting to get our COA together, the Comprehensive Operational Analysis. Expected to see more on that as we move along, especially after the July break. The funding is finishing off in FTA, and we should be seeing that moving forward as quickly as we can go. As you know, we haven't had a really good look at where we're serving the community for the past few years. And Pasco's grown so much in that time. We really need to do this type of analysis to make sure we're hitting all the areas, especially with all the new growth going forward. And that's a key part of it. We'll also be looking to everyone on the board for their inputs, and we'll be scheduling meetings with you. This will be well after the break, September, October timeframe I'm looking at. Some good news is that our buses are actually being built in California as we speak. There are 6 of them on the line. We expect delivery over the next month or so as they move forward with Gillig. My gut feeling is we'll get them on the road in August with looking at Shady Hills being stood up in October. At our next meeting in September, I'll have a presentation for you on the actual route, the timing, and so forth. Good maps to get to everybody so you can start seeing where we're going to be serving that community. This is good as that I believe the Vincent Academy is getting ready to stand up relatively quick, and we will be servicing that with the Shady Hills route. As part of the COVID recovery, we've been looking at how can we help our drivers be safer. And even with the things that happened with the driver attacks down in Hillsborough, we've put some money aside, and we're going to get retrofit all our buses with driver barriers. So there'll be a barrier for the driver to be protected from any type of COVID, help protect COVID spread, and also to protect them from just anything else that could be out there. And it'd be a lot harder for a person just to hit a driver and run off the bus. So we're working on that. Hopefully we can get the procurement and everything in place before the end of the year, but we do have money set aside for that and moving forward. The other thing I just want to kind of give you some notices, we've been have some vandalism on some of our shelters. And so we've had to remove the plastic inside the shelters. So you may see some shelters that don't have any plastic in them right now. We're going to go to we're going to upgrade those shelters to a glass, like an automotive type of glass. It's a safety glass, a lot easier to clean, a lot harder to vandalize. And we're going to be putting out a bid for that and start replacing that. But I just want to let you know, if you saw some shelters that are missing the plastic in the back of it, that we are aware of it and we're working to solve that problem as quickly as we can. Other than that, I'm open for any questions from the board.
Mr. Scheibel, if I may, Chairman Starkey here, how many shelters were vandalized?
Right now, it's about 4 of them. We have been working with the Sheriff's Department, Pasco Sheriff's Department, and the local law enforcement to press charges, and we have started proceedings already on one. But they're not just in one location, which is kind of surprising. It's more across the whole county. I think we had one in Zephyr Hills where someone decided to, punch their foot through it or something like that. We had one in North Pasco where they painted some graffiti on it, and then one down in off of 54.
If it continues, I wonder if we might want to look into installing cameras there. We had some issues in downtown New Perici with vandalism and criminal activity, and we put some cameras up in those areas that feed directly to the police department, and it works quite well. So maybe it's just something we can monitor for the future. Disappointing to hear though.
We're definitely looking into something like that. How can we afford it? What is out there and so forth? We're doing the preliminary work right now. And I'm not just looking at vandalism. I'm also looking at people hanging out at the shelters.
Right.
There's something we can do to minimize that. Like as you will know, at the one at Mile Stretch Road off 19, that's one we continually monitor. But we are looking at exactly that type of technology moving forward.
Thank you. Commissioner Starkey?
I'm glad you brought that up because yesterday or the day before I was driving down 19 and we've got a new thing going on at that shelter, or maybe it's been happening and I haven't been there in the morning, but usually they're loitering inside the shelter, but I had a group of 8, maybe more, sitting behind the shelter in what was grass and is now, I think, dirt because they're using it so much. I sent a message to Don Anderson from Coalition for the Homeless and Marcy and Kathy, and Don went down there, but there were 2 or 3 people left. Everyone else had scattered. But yeah, they cannot, that's private property, and it's just such a pain down there. I wish there was something that we could do. I almost want to take the shelter away from there. But I feel bad for the business and the folks who need to use that bus stop for legitimate purposes. And I don't know what the answer is. Of course, we're working to get housing for everybody and helping people get jobs and get off their dependencies, of course. But in the meantime, it's just so unfair that community and that business suffers so much.
I would agree 100%. And the riders need to feel safe while they're riding on the bus. And I've witnessed exactly what you've witnessed as well. So I'm sure Mr. Scheibel can continue to work with the Sheriff's Department regarding that one bus site or pickup site, because it really is an eyesore, and it's just, like you said, they moved from in the shelter to behind the shelter, and it's kind of like it's like a camp. They hang out there all day, 10 feet behind the shelter, and it just, I wouldn't feel safe riding the bus if I was to get on there.
And just we're also empowering the drivers that if they see people when they drive up, because when the buses come, they like to scatter, and then they come back after the bus leaves. We're actually empowering the drivers that if they see something to call it into the dispatchers, and then we're calling the sheriff at that point. And it's hit or miss sometimes, unfortunately. But I'm 100% behind the effort to protect our riders and make sure that we're not, that private property, you're 100% correct. And we're working really hard on that and discussing
Kurt,
some things.
I think
Mr.
I want to
Scheibel,
look at moving that
go
bus
ahead,
stop,
Commissioner.
but maybe you and I can go see if there's a location that might be better, that wouldn't encourage loitering, like there's no place behind it to hang out, or maybe we put, I'm sorry, maybe we put landscaping behind it, that prevents that, but let's meet and let's go look and see if we, I understand there'll be an expense, but I think it's something that we need to do, because it's only that bus stop that is really causing the trouble that I see. So like to look at that.
I'll get my team to contact yours and we'll set up something, ma'am.
Mr. Scheibel, another idea that's worked in downtown Newport Richey with loitering and vagrancy is if that property where they're hanging out behind the shelter is private property, if we can find out the owners of the property and see if they would be entertain trespassing warrants.
Oh, we have that there.
What if vagrants are hanging out there drinking alcoholic beverages, then they're breaking the law. So at that point, maybe we could trespass them. So if they come back, they get arrested just for coming back.
We have
That might be something to look into.
We have a sign at the bus stop right now that says no loitering, and the sheriff's department has been very cooperative and helping us, and they do trespass a lot. So we are working with the local law enforcement on that.
Commissioner Starkey?
Chairman Starkey, I've actually gone down and met with the Wawa district manager and the manager of that Wawa, because I don't know if you remember, they used to have tables, like most Wawas have these tables outside for their customers. They had to take them out because they were occupied by the homeless there, all day long, and even in the night because they have internet, they have Wi-Fi. So they took the tables out. But they told me they were calling, 5, 6, 7 times a day, and it was really disruptive to their employees and their customers. And so they're quite frustrated, but we already have all that. It's not working. It's you'd have to have a deputy there just stationed there. So
Yeah, it's obviously a small piece of a much larger problem. But thank you for looking into those measures already.
yeah.
Are there any other questions or comments for Mr. Scheibel before we move on?
So I understand that our grant application is in also with the attorney's office, David Goldstein, for our micro transit project. Is there an update on that?
Commissioner, I'll have to get back to you on that. I don't know where that was assigned in our office, so I'll have to check on that and get back to you.
I think Carol has it. So if we could make sure it doesn't disappear into Neverland, and we can get that out quick, that would be really good.
Okay, we'll work
Right.
on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Goldstein. All right, we'll move on then to presentation, status reports, and updates. Florida Commission for the Transportation Disadvantage Planning Grant update. Ms. Gorman?
Good morning, Tania Gorman, Pasco MPO. I just wanted to give you an update on the Transportation Disadvantage Planning Grant. It's a state grant that provides financial assistance to accomplish the duties and responsibilities of the local coordinating board. This grant will be awarded on July 1st of this year in the sum of $30,035. The Transportation Disadvantage Program is from July 1st of this year through next year, June 30th, 2021. Currently, the grant is being reviewed by the county attorney's office. And once we have received the report from the county attorney's office, we will take the grant to CC to recognize the revenue. Any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Gorman. Any questions for Ms. Gorman? No? Well, thank you very much. Is there any other business to be brought to the board by any board member?
I would just mention that we've started talks about moving the celebration of the Starkey Gap that was canceled because of COVID for April to the fall. And we're looking at inviting the State Greenways Trails Council for their fall meeting. Like they were gonna have their spring meeting down here. So hopefully Tina and Ralph are working on that, Ralph Lair, and maybe at the next meeting we'll have some updates on that, unless Tina, you have any now? I don't think she's here.
She's here. She said no.
No
Okay.
new news, working with Ralph and Robin Birdsong and the State Greenways Committee on figuring out a date.
Okay, great.
Thank you very much. Well, then the next MPO board meeting will be held in Dade City or through Communications Media Technology on August 13, 2020. 1 second, Mr. Blackshear.
Yes, I had some additional.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Blackshear had some additional items we added. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry about that. For the record, Ronnie Blackshear, MPO staff. As you know, that our next board meeting will be in August, and we take a reprieve during July. But this year will be our first regional meeting that we're going to be held since the last one we had in 2018. This is the meeting between the T-BARTA Chairs Coordinating Committee and the Central Florida MPO Alliance. This meeting is scheduled to be held at Hillsborough Community College, 1206 North Park Road in Plant City. This is on July 10th. Still being planned. Of course, it may change due to the COVID-19 pandemic and how virtual meetings need to be held. This meeting is tentatively scheduled from 12 to 2. Now, the meetings of the Tampa Bay TMA, the CCC, and the Central Florida MPO Alliance, they have separate meetings. So those meetings will be held prior to the major meeting when everyone is joined together. And those meetings will begin around 9:30 to 10:30, somewhere in that time frame. So they are being scheduled too. As far as I've been in contact or in discussions with staff regarding our meetings that we've had, and I wanted to kind of get an idea from the board, maybe for our next scheduled meetings for 2021. So I'm thinking about proposing bi-monthly meetings for the board, the TAC and CAC. This is due to light agendas. I think it provides better coordination and efficiency for staff to prepare agenda items and get necessary approvals, and also for us to meet deadlines. So I wanted to kind of run that by the board itself to see how they feel. Because I've noticed with just looking at prior meetings, having a meeting every month, sometimes it may be best to have it bi-monthly. Currently, I would say 6 meetings, but there may be an opportunity or times where we may have an additional meeting due to deadlines and things of that nature. So I just wanted to kind of get the board's feedback on it. I will come back in August with a proposed 2021 agenda.
What's the pleasure of the board members? Commissioner Starkey?
I agree with that. I actually did the same thing at T-BARTA and got us to cut our meetings down because we were meeting with no agendas sometimes, nothing important. And I think that's a very good idea.
I am also okay with that. Commissioner Oakley, what's your thoughts?
I'm okay with that.
Commissioner Mariano? He's no longer with us, right?
That is correct.
Councilman Smith?
Yes, I don't think we need to meet for the sake of meeting, so that's fine with me.
Thank you, Mayor Hernandez.
Yeah, works for me.
All right, I think you have a consensus then, Mr. Fletcher.
Okay, thank you.
And
the other thing I wanted
ahead.
to mention is that one of our current planners, Arabelle Rivero, her last day is June 19th, so she'll be moving on to utilities. So as we go through our reorganization, we'll be looking for an additional planner at some point in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, if there's no further business to come before the board, we will adjourn the meeting. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thanks.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Starkey?
I said
Did
bye.
you say something?
No, just bye.
Okay.
Bye.